Hey, welcome back. This is Tom, and this is Tom's Radio Room Show. And I got this new gadget in. Gadget, toy. Not sure what you want to call it. But I've kind of gone to the dark side in that I'm reviewing gadgets and inexpensive radios. Just really hard to find new radios to review. And I'm not done very good at finding radios on eBay, old used radios on eBay. It seems like the demand for those radios is really sky high because prices are just out of sight. But anyway, be that as it may, I want to show you this little guy right here. It may appear a little bigger than it is. It's quite small. There it is right there. And what it is, it's a AM, FM weather band radio. It's an emergency radio. You can see it's pretty small. And it has only one, I call it one source of power. I don't know why I'm stammering so much this morning. In that it has a built-in, non-easily replaceable, I guess you could take this thing apart, but probably not easy, battery, in which the only way to charge it, only two ways of charging it, is solar, which I will be doing a test today on that if the sun comes out, and a crank. Now this is what drives the price of this radio up, is the fact that it has this crank charging capability. So you can either charge the internal battery with the crank or the solar. And what I'm going to do right this instance is I'm going to zoom out a little bit. And I'm going, this radio right now, let me turn it on. This is all you get. You get this side is this big knob for on and off and volume. This side is the tuning knob, and it's black on dark green, so it's kind of hard to read, for AM, FM, and the weather bands. And it's not indented or anything, it just turn a knob. Pretty crude. Here's the switch for AM, FM, and weather band. Crank on the back, telescopic antenna, which is quite short, a LED here on the top, which tells you that it's being charged either by the little solar cell here or the crank. And then there's down in here, buried down in here behind his grill, is a little LED that shows you it's on. And then the speaker there, of course. Headphones jack. I don't know if it's stereo or not. I'm guessing not, but it might be stereo. And that's it. That's all you get. It was, here's my notes. It was $15. Now I thought that was a little high. Boy, it's heavy too. I thought that was a little high. It was on sale on Amazon, but it does have some good features. How well they're implemented is to be seen. So I'll show you. I'll turn this on. So it's on now. There's no LED light on, so it's totally discharged. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn it off, and then I'm going to attempt to crank it for 60 seconds, only 60 seconds, to see if it'll work and maybe how long. Okay, so here's the crank here. Now, the one thing about these inexpensive radios, even some more expensive, is the crank tends to be a little flimsy. So you got to be very careful you don't break it. And there is a lot of resistance when the dyno, I guess you'd call it, is being used and you're cranking this thing. A lot of resistance, which is a good indication because that means it's really working. Now I have another radio. Let me just jump up and get it. Okay, I got this guy, which it's not a radio, it's just a lamp, and it has a big crank, but dude, boy, it's dirty. Maybe it's because it's got a big handle, but it's really easy to turn. But you can crank this thing for a long time, and it doesn't charge very much. Now, maybe that's because the battery is not that good in this thing. But it doesn't give you much resistance. So when I was cranking this one for the first time, I thought, man, that's got a lot of resistance. I don't know if resistance equates to how well it's charging or not. I don't know. Anyway, let's move on. So we're going to do this little test here. I'm going to crank it for 60 seconds. And do I have... Oh, I lost my timer. Okay, I just have to do my watch. 60 seconds. Let's see, I'm on 45 seconds and I'm going to start. So the light comes on there on the top, nice and bright, indicating that it's being charged. The other thing you have to be a little careful of, because there's a lot of resistance, you're gripping this thing real hard. So you got to be careful you don't break something just from gripping it so hard. Not to mention breaking off the handle. You break off this handle, and except for solar, you have no way of charging it again. Let me see what I'm doing on my watch. Okay, I'm about halfway. And of course, the speed at which you crank will also determine the charge. And with my weak arms, I can't turn it very long, nor can I crank very long. 35, so we got 15 seconds. And I'll go just a little more because I did stop a couple of times. And we still got red light there. Okay, that's 60 seconds. So that's 60 seconds of cranking, and it's pretty hard for me. And like I say, you have to be a little careful. If you're really strong, unlike me, you could probably break this thing off. So you got to kind of keep it in the right direction, right plane, so you're not twisting it or anything when you're cranking. So now we're going to turn it on. And you can't see, it's very dim. The little LED light on the front behind this grill is on. We're on the FM band. I'll turn the volume up. Put the antenna up. Oh, now it's too loud. Then we'll tune in. This tuning is very crude. Okay, let's see if we can get away from music. More music. I was trying to find there.
100-meter gold in the competition for the 4th time.
I'm at
in his 7th World Championships, and then he plans to retire.
Only
notch this is NPR News
3 out of probably 15, so I get the volume way down. It turned up a little more.
The Corporation for Public Broadcasting and the estate of Joan Clark. This bequest serves as an enduring investment in the future of public radio. And the Robert Wood Johnson Foundation at rwjf.org.
Pretty good audio. That particular FM station is about 25 miles from me, so it doesn't come in perfect. And as you saw, as I moved this around, they got stronger or weaker. There's buku number of AM and FM stations in my area. Some much closer, but they're playing music, of course, and I don't want to record music. So the audio quality is pretty good. 60-second crank from a near dead battery. And note there wasn't enough juice in the battery to turn the radio on. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this kind of in background here, turn the volume up a little bit.
Chris, it's wonderful to have you with us today. And I guess the first question
now let's
is,
see,
what the heck?
Let's see if I can get a weather band station. Now, we have 2 stations near me. They're about 35 miles away. And I can usually get those, or one of those. Let's see if I can get one. So we'll just put this on weather band, and then we'll turn the volume up quite a bit. We're getting noise. Now try to tune this in. It's either an encoder or an analog tuner. So there's no detents like on other radios. They'll have it lock on to all 7 weather frequencies. This doesn't. It's kind of just variable tuning here. Noise. Okay, I'm at the end. And what I would do if I got one, if you got one of these radios, is actually get something to mark which frequency you can receive. Because like I said, there's no detent tuning, so you can't quickly go through the various frequencies used by the weather band. Turn that volume down. Okay, I missed it again. I got it yesterday when I first got this and tried it. I was downstairs. And it was pretty clear. Oh, that's interesting. Now the LED is brighter. That's interesting. But I still haven't received a station. I can say I got it yesterday. Of course, I wasn't sitting next to all these computers. I guess what I should have done is what I mentioned, marked it. Well, we're giving the battery charge a test anyway. That's embarrassing. I'm thinking the problem is yesterday when I tried it after I had taken it right out of the box, I was downstairs and I was away from computers and all these lights I got on and various other things. They may be interfering with it in this location. That could be the problem. Because I did get 2 weather stations, or 2 channels, NOAA weather channels, downstairs. And one of them was a little weak and the other one was crystal clear. So I don't know what that's about up here. Anyway, let's go back to AM, and let's go back and tune this AM station.
These guys all think they want to be like general manager and all that stuff, and
Loud. It's very loud. I mean, like I say, I want to get it like at, well,
the biggest thing y'all missed this week, and hopefully you didn't miss
that's
it.
four. Let me turn it down. That's 4 notches of these indents right here. I think there's like 15. So that's way down. I don't want to turn it all the way up because I might break something like my eardrums. So that's it. Like I say, what's interesting is the little LED when I'm tuned in the station goes dim. And maybe that's why I'm not receiving a weather band station. Maybe that 60 seconds of tuning or cranking, charging, didn't give it enough voltage to work properly. Maybe the voltage is just around the hairy edge so that the weather band stations are not coming in. Maybe. I don't know. It's pretty rugged plastic. It definitely is plastic. This antenna is pretty small, and it's kind of really lightweight, so you could easily break this. It doesn't fully receive, so it's sticking out all the time somewhat. I will also offline let this. I'll let the radio play. That's interesting. Now the LED is dim. Maybe it's because it's not receiving the station. Let me just try something. Oh, let me try changing the volume.
I don't know, a couple days this week.
Yeah, I noticed it probably didn't show up on my camera, but as the audio was louder, the LED got dimmer. So it's probably right on the verge of working. So I will also, after the thing charges using the solar, and there's no indication of how excuse me, how much it's charged, how much that battery is charged. No indication. Also, another really thing I didn't realize as far as a drawback, it has no way of externally charging. Most of these little radios nowadays have a little USB port to charge it. So this thing, you either crank it or you let the sun charge it. That's it. Thus, we've been on for 18 minutes. I've been recording for 18 minutes. I probably did that charging at about, I would say, 5 minutes. So that's almost, we're getting close to 15 minutes of playing. And of course, most of the time I've had the audio off, which my guess is that when the audio is not driving the speakers, it's using less power. Let's turn the audio back up.
5 minutes you want it to be able to live in 5 minutes. You don't want it to go to 7 just to fill a time allotment. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And so
the LED is pretty bright.
Tim was all in.
I'm going to go
a great person this guy is.
back to the weather band. Now the LED is still pretty bright, which it wasn't initially. And let me tune again. Try one more time for the weather band. Every once in a while I get something that sounds like a station. Right in there. Very, very hard to tune. Like I say, once you find it, I would mark it with a little white dot or something. I'm going to move it around. Okay, I can't find the weather band or weather station. LED is still pretty bright, and we're coming up on 15 minutes of use with 1 60-second crank cycle. That was it. We turn this back down, and I go back to AM. Of course, there's only one tuning dial, so once you've tuned off of a station, when you're on one of the other bands, you gotta tune back. I'm hearing interference. It's probably one of my computers, my router, whatever. Yeah, that's cool. I got a little high-pitched tone in there on top of that station. Again, I've got, I'd say 8 or 9 computers running, a tablet, a cell phone, lights, 2 or 3 monitors on. So I got a lot of RF noise in this room. Possibly what I'll do is I'll take it outside to get my old camcorder and do a recording of it outside. But anyway, this is, what did I say, $15 on Amazon. It is the Kaito emergency radio. No model number on it, and I don't have the documentation. I'll put a link in the description below this video, and if you want to get one of these. And of course, in Florida or along the coast here in the United States, it's getting near that hurricane time, so it's good to have some kind of emergency radio. This one has AM, FM, and the weather band, which I have not been able to receive in my office. That's it. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this show, I didn't mean to babble on so much about this little radio, but I did. Anyway, please give me a thumbs up. Have a great day. Bye-bye.